All right, so when you break down selling your house this fall, there are two things that are extremely important to get the house sold. They're always been important. They're back to being extremely important. And if you're not hitting these right, point blank, your house will not sell. This is Steve Malone Realty Group, EXP. All right, the game has changed. We're currently in October of 2022. The market has definitely shifted hard since June when the rates hit 6%. On a technicality, it is still a seller's market based on the number of homes that are on the market. We have just over 2 months of supply of inventory on the market. So theoretically, it's a seller's market. But you ask most agents, who's in control of the market right now? And it's the buyers. Buyers have not been in control of the market like this in a very, very long time. So if we are going to sell your house and take advantage of the fact that there's such low inventory, if we're going to take advantage of the market, there are two things that we really, really need to hit. And that is price, and that is condition of the home. Because the homes that are hitting the right price, the right condition, are selling. And in some cases, still getting multiple offers. That being said, there is very, very little margin as it stands right now. So in this video, what we're going to talk about, first I want to talk about where we are right now, brief overshot of the market as it is, because it has drastically changed in the last 3 to 4 months. Okay. Number two, I want to talk about price in depth, what our theory is on pricing your house, where we should be, and number three, condition. What are we looking at when we figure out the condition of your home? What are we looking for? Okay, if we can hit all three of those things, understand all three of those things, we're going to be another step closer to getting your home sold if you're trying to sell it this fall and probably through the winter as well. So here we go. Selling your house, the big two things. But first, what's going on in the market right now? Well, it's a great question. I'm glad I asked it. What is going on in the market right now? So I got some stats here. And again, I say this all the time. I'm like uber old. So I can't remember this stuff. So I got to write it down. Okay. So I want to give you some stats to show you where we were in March compared to where we are now, coming out of September and October. So we're talking about 6-7 months down the road because it's a drastically different market in just that time frame. Okay. Now, some of the things that we look at as far as how many homes are on the market, the month supply. Okay, that means if we don't add any more homes and we just sold everything that's on the market right now at the pace that we're selling it, how long does it take to sell everything? Right now we're at 2.2 months of inventory. Anything below 5 is considered a seller's market. Under 3 is like an extreme seller's market. Under like 1.5 or near 1 is like bananas, which is where we were in March. In March we were at 1. Right now we're at 2.2. As we talked about, still a seller's market, still kind of a strong seller's market, but it's up 220% since March when it was 1.0. Okay, the number of homes that are for sale, we're now over 12,000, nearly 13,000 homes for sale in the greater Atlanta area coming out of September. That's up about 80% from where we were earlier this year. Okay, now when you look at pricing of some of those homes, very interesting. The percentage of original price. So that's a marker. That's an idea of when if you list it, how much of that price are you getting when you sell your home? So homes that have sold way back in March and April, we peaked at about 103.2%. So if you ask for, let's say, $100,000, you would get $103,200 for a final price. So 103.2, that was the average sales price. Okay. Now the average sales price is around 97.1, 97.2. That number has gone down 6.1%. And to give you an idea of what that means, right now, if you sold a $400,000 house, if you listed $400,000 right now, on average, you'd sell it for about $388,400. Back in March, you would have sold it for $412,800. That's a difference of $24,000 on a $400,000 house in just 6 or 7 months. Okay, so that just shows you how much stronger the market was than it is right now. The other thing is shows per listing is way down. That's the number of people that go in every house. If it's on the market, the average number of people go in it. Right now, we're at about 6 to 7 shows per every single listing that's on the market. Back in March and April, it was about 17. Okay, we're down 60% on the traffic on every home. Okay, the percentage of houses that have price drops in this market is about 9%, according to some of the data that we just saw. That's the highest that we've seen in well over 4 years. It's indicative of the fact that some of the sellers are still not listing their house at the right price and the market's going by them. Doesn't mean that the market is going down in value, No, it means that people are still trying to tap into what was a crazy market in March, and it was crazy. Market is over. It packed its bags. It left a little Dear John letter and everything. It's gone. Okay, we're in a brand new market. It's a brand new world. So, what does that all mean if we're going forward? Because we have to pay attention to where we are right now. Seller's market, but the buyers are in control, and if the buyers don't see the value, they're not going to get it. So, what do we do to get value? It's called price. It's called conditions. So, we're going to break it down right now. Talk about price first. Okay, so when we are talking about price of house, when we look at a house, back in March or April, if you listed a house and let's say your neighbor sold their house, they listed at 350, probably sold it for 400, had about 70 offers. And they, well, let's go like 380, 390, see what happens. We'd get 430, 440, and the beat goes on. That's not how it happened. So if you're going on the market right now, okay, and the people across the street from you had a bunch of offers, and they sold their house for about 50, 55,000 over asking price from when it was on the market in March and April. We're not going to swing much higher than that price. Okay, if they sold it for, let's say they sold it for something in the neighborhood of 400,000. Okay, where do I sell it today? We need to look real hard. That 400,000 is the absolute top of the market of where we're going to go. I would say we even go a little lower than that. Okay, our job right now is to bring value. It's for buyers to look, for the buyers to jump, for buyers to say, get in the car and let's go and take a look at that house. There are more houses for the buyers to look at, and the buyers, with the interest rates where they are, they do not have to be desperate right now. There's more houses, crazy rates, less buyers. They don't have to be desperate, okay? So pricing is a huge part of the marketing of your house, okay? I know a lot of people don't like to hear that. A lot of people think that that's probably like a cop-out from realtors. Oh, we'll just drop the price. If you went to Kroger, okay, you got there and there's a marching band out front, flamethrowers, Ferris wheel, cotton candy, there's handed out to everybody. There's, marching band, fireworks. You walk through, there's people handing out goodies and whatever. Everybody feels great, You're doing everything you can to get the people into Kroger. You get back to the milk case and they're selling milk for $15 a gallon. How many gallons of milk you're going to get for $15 a gallon? You're not getting any milk for $15 a gallon. I don't care what the marching band sound like. I don't care what the flamethrowers look like. I don't care about any of that. It's all great. It's all great ways of getting people into the grocery store. But if you're selling the milk for $15 a gallon, you're not selling any milk, okay? Especially when the buyers know that Publix down the street has milk for $3 a gallon or $4 a gallon, whatever it is, okay? Again, that's not to pick on Kroger or Publix, so don't at me, bro, okay? Because we could have done it the other way, too. That's just to show you that at one grocery store, if you're overpricing the stuff, you're going to go somewhere else to get it, okay? It's the same thing with homes, okay? No matter what marketing you do to it, no matter how many people you call, no matter what we do as far as whatever, if the price is not in line with where the buyers think that the value is, they're not going to go look at it. They're not going to put in offers on it, okay? You may think the house is worth X amount. I might think the house is worth X amount, which is great. The unfortunate thing is what we have to do is we have to price your house to get it sold to the point where the buyers look at the house and they see value, okay? The best way that we do that is figuring out, looking at what has sold, looking at what's going on in the market. Let's have a serious conversation about where do we think the house should sell, okay? Not where we want it to sell, but where it should sell. That number, let's say it's 400,000, okay? In a perfect world, we look at what's sold, whatever. Everybody agrees the house should sell 400,000. I would suggest listing the house around 385, 390, slightly below where we think it's going to be. The market is still strong enough with the lack of inventory to where if the house is priced right, you're going to get multiple offers. You're going to get that number. If the magic number is around 4, you're going to get that number if you list around 390, okay? You're going to get more people looking at the house. The lower you go in price, the more people you get to look at the house. More people get to look at the house at a lower price, the more value that they see, the more likely it is they put in offers. The more likely it is to put in offers, the more offers you're going to get. The more offers you get, the better final offer you're going to take. If we go higher to see what happens, we go to 450, let's just say, or 425. Let's say 425, and let's see what happens. Okay, we hear about that all the time. We've had sellers do that all the time. Let's see what we can do, and we will bring it down. At 425 after 2 weeks, nobody's putting an offer because it's way over asking price. So we bring it down to maybe 400. Maybe we go 410 first just to see what happens. Go another 2 weeks. Then, all right, let's bring it down. So it goes down 400, where it was supposed to be. The problem now is buyers that see this house that was supposed to sell for 400 is at 400, but it's been on the market for a month. There must be something wrong with the house, which means that not as many people go to see it. So it probably goes down to 390, 380. We probably finally sell it like 375. Okay, but the thing to remember about that, as we're listing the price, as a home's on the market, if we are overpriced, like this is where we list it, and then how do I do this? All right, here you go. Boom. Here's where we list it. Here's the actual price of the house, okay? As we go through time and we bring the price down, the actual price goes down too. That'll look terrible. I wish I had an artist that could make that look good. Just imagine one graph goes down, the other graph goes down below it. The graph on the bottom, that's that graph that shows the how much the house is going to get. Because you know that every single day that you're on the market, you're going to get less for the house. Every single day you're on the market, you're going to lose power to negotiate on that house. Every single day that it's on the market, buyers are going to think to themselves, I wonder what's wrong with that house. Okay, the best way to get the most money for your house is to price it just below where we think it's supposed to be. Razzle dazzle them right out of the gate, have a big explosion, get multiple offers the first weekend. That's the best way to get the most amount of money for your house. If we overprice your house in this market, what you're going to have is you're going to have a house that sits for a while and you're going to get a whole lot less than what you want to get for the house. That's the way that real estate has always worked, except for the last 2 years, because the last 2 years have been pandemic crazy. Pandemic crazy market's over. So the pandemic market kind of rewrote the books. The book is closed. And we put the book up on the shelf, and we're going to read that in a couple years, and we're going to say, do you remember when real estate did that? Because that was crazy. All right, we're not doing that anymore because that book is closed, up on the shelf. So now we've opened regular real estate book, and that's where we are right now. Regular real estate book. In a regular real estate book, the longer it's on the market and the higher it's priced above where it's supposed to be, the less money you're going to get for it. It's as simple as that. So what we're telling all our people is, where are you supposed to be? Just under where it's supposed to be. You'll get that final number. You're going to get more people in the house. You're going to get more offers. You're going to have more leverage on offers and on going back and forth with people. That's the best way to get your house sold and get the most amount of money. Okay. And a lot of people don't want to hear that. Been in this for 5 years. Been doing this a very long time. Study this. We go to classes for this. That is the absolute best way to make the most money on selling your house. Okay. And that's price. Now, the important thing in this market is not just price. Condition is a huge deal. Back in March and April of this year, when it comes to talking about the condition of your house, you could have put your house on the market and it could have looked like a dog and it would have sold. Okay, if it needed to be painted, updated, all that stuff. You would have people walk in the door and say, I need this house and I'll take it and I'll give you like 3% over asking price. That's exactly what the market was, back in March and April. It didn't matter what you did. As we just talked about, we closed the book, put it up on the shelf. We're going to read it in a couple years and think how hilarious was that. Now we're back to regular real estate book. And in regular real estate book, what it says is we got to have the house looking the part to get the most money for it. Okay, that means curb appeal. When they drive up, yard looks great, pressure washed, any kind of wood rot on the outside is taken care of, because the first thing that people see when they walk up is the front of the house. If there's any issues, the buyers are going to say before they walk into your house, no matter what you've done in the house, buyers are going to say, oh, this house is trouble. This house is a mess. Okay, we got to have the house looking the part. Then when they walk in, we want everything to look the part. Okay, if you got wonky carpet somewhere, we're going to take care of it. If it needs to get cleaned, you need to take care of it. We always talk about the big 3 rooms: the master bath, and the kitchen. Those are the three most important rooms in the house. But you got to also focus on the interior, like that when people first walk into the house, the foyer area. How does that look? Is it light? Do you have a lot of natural light in there? There's all those different kinds of things, and we have our stager that comes over and helps you out with that. But as you're looking at your house, what I want you to think is, if I was buying this house, what would I want the house to look like? Some of the easiest things that you can do: paint your house. Painting your house is one of the cheapest, most dramatic ways to update and make your house sing and dance. Paint your rooms. Yes, it's a lot of elbow grease if you want to do it yourself. Yes, it may cost a lot if you want to have somebody do it. But what I'm telling you is your house, I'm talking to somebody right now who's getting ready to relist their house, and we're going to help them get their house sold. And it was on the market. All the rooms need to be done. They just tried to see what could they get, and they couldn't get what they wanted. And all they've done is painted that inside of the house. And I'm telling you, it is night and day the difference between that house before and after. And all they did was paint it. Painting is the cheapest thing you can do to get the house ready. Landscaping's big, cleaning up is big, pressure washing's big. You could get away with all that stuff in the past. But right now, you've got to lean into condition. The house has to look the part because these buyers right now, they have more inventory to pick from. And with the interest rates being where they are, they're not going to jump. They are not going to put themselves in that position unless they have to. So, we got to worry about price. We got to worry about condition. All right, so there's your primer, price and condition. And I mean, I could talk about condition for 30 minutes. So I figured that was just going to be a real quick hit. But we're going to work on stuff. I'm not saying you need to do, put $50,000 into your secondary bathroom, but maybe updating some lighting fixtures, updating some faucets, painting in there, things like that. We want to touch up everything as much as we can. We want it to be, when people open up the pictures, and start looking at the house. And price-wise, we want to see where people look at the price, they look at the house, and they call their agent and say, Bob, Bill, Susie, whoever, Steve, we need to go see this house, like now. Okay, so that's what you want to set up. You want to set up your people in a position where the buyers are going to pick up the phone and say, we have to go see this house because the house looks ridiculous and it's priced really awesome. That's the way to get your home sold in this market. It's a lot harder than it was, but there's still a formula to do it and win and still get a really good deal on the house if you're looking to sell. If you have specific questions on pricing strategies or what should I do to get the house ready, you always reach out to me via email. Email's below, or call me 470-233-4409. This is Steve, Lone Realty Group, EXP. Take care, bye. Hey, thanks for watching the video today. If you want more information on what's going on in the real estate market, take a look at some of these videos over here that we've posted, keeping up with what buying, selling, things that are going on in the North Georgia market. But if you want to keep up with everything that we post to our YouTube channel, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel down there, bottom right. That way you won't miss out on anything.